Hi, my name's Andrew and this is Flick Wars. Flick Wars is a combat dexterity game. It plays from 1 to 6 players in 30 to 60 minutes. Your goal is to eliminate your opponent by flicking your way around the battlefield. Let's talk about setup. First, pick a turn order for the players. Then, in turn order, each player is going to pick one of these 6 factions. You're then going to take all of the pieces for your faction. Your player base, all your discs, all your cards, and your faction setup card as well. Then you're going to set up the battlefield. Starting with the first player, each player takes one of these domes and places it either on top of the battlefield or underneath the battlefield. Continue placing until all the domes have been placed. You must make sure to place them 3 range away from all other domes. Once the battlefield is set up, each player is going to follow their faction setup card. Take 5 small gems and 5 large gems and place them in your supply. The small gems are 1 and the big gems are 5. This is all the money that you get for the entire game. Take both of the unit cards labeled basic and place them in your supply. Take all the other cards and place them back in the box. Take all of the discs that match and place them in your supply as well. Take all the other discs that don't match and place them in the box. Slide your base under the battlefield and make sure it's at least 2 range away from the edge of the mat. Then you're going to deploy one of each of your units within 2 range of the base. Make sure to pay their costs as well. And that's set up. Now let's talk about what you do on your turn. Take your faction setup card and turn it over. This is now your player aid card. On your turn, you can choose activation or you can choose take 2 command actions. If you choose activation, you can activate a unit on the battlefield. You then get to take a flick with that unit and you get to use all of the powers on your card as well. Every flick that you take is either a move flick or an attack flick. When you're taking a move flick, you can bounce into obstacles, you can bounce into enemy units, you can even bounce into your own guys, and that's all fine. However, if you hit into an enemy base, your unit dies and turns into debris. When you activate a unit, you also get to use all the powers on your card. For example, the Rangers here, they get +1 flick if they don't hit an enemy unit with their first flick. So I just use my first flick and then I get 1 more flick. Every flick can either be a move flick or an attack flick. To attack someone, you need to be in range and you need to have a flick. For example, if these yellow jackets here want to attack these infantry, I would need to be in range. Here I'm within 2 range and I just make my attack flick. The unit turns over and remains as debris on the battlefield. If you don't choose activation, you can take 2 command actions. You can take 2 move flicks or deploy 2 units, or you can take a move flick and deploy a unit. If you take a move flick with a unit, you just take a move flick. However, you don't get to use any of the powers on your card. All the standard move flick rules still apply. The other command action is deploy a unit. When you deploy a unit, you first must pay the cost. Then you place the unit within 2 range of your base. Once you've activated a unit or taken it 2 command actions, you then perform end of turn. Regardless of whichever option that you've chosen, you can continue to pay gems to take more command actions. So you can pay a gem and take another move flick, pay another gem and deploy another unit. You can continue doing this as long as you have gems if you want. Note that you cannot perform a command action on a unit that has been activated this turn. If you accidentally flick some units off the battlefield, then at the end of your turn, whoever has you as a target will place all those units anywhere within 1 range of the edge of the mat. At this point, if your target has no units left on the battlefield, then you win. And that's how to play Flick Wars. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below.